Hey guys, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a game called Smuggles N Snuggles. Alright, so Smuggles N Snuggles is a two-player game by designer Johnathan Ahnert. It takes about 20-ish minutes for ages 13 and up, and this game is essentially a turf war between two different types of bears. We have country bears and city bears. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to be the first person to get 3 of your bears to the other player's back row. So it takes place over a 5x3 grid, and you're moving one card at a time, one space, unless you're using other rules, which we'll go into later. But yeah, that's the gist of the game. Let's go down to the table, see how it plays. Alright, so here's Smuggles N Snuggles set up for the two-player game. I'm not using the advanced variant, which the advanced variant are these blue cards here. They have like a special power that will be done in the game, and it would go in the middle right here. So whenever a card is covered up, you would then have access to that special ability. But we're not going to do that for the run through. Just know that exists. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to decide who's first player. Well, first let's go about how we set it up. To set it up, you're going to flip 4 cards face down like this. Then you're going to put 4 cards on top. So there's a card under each of these. Then the other player is going to do the same thing, but they're going to have their front card on the opposite side. So it's a 5x5 grid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 5x3 grid. So then whoever has the lowest number is going to be first player. Normally you get to move 2 bears, but if you're first player, you get to move 1. So in this case, the black bears are going to be going first. So they're going to do 1 movement. So they can move any bear they want in any direction that they want. Now there's a couple of different rules for movement. One thing you can do is you can just move into a free space. So say this one wanted to move out, it would come out and then that card would flip. But if you don't want to do that, what you can do is you can smuggle a bear. What that means, it lets you move a lower bear through a higher number bear to an empty space, which is what we're going to do here. So I'm going to take the 1, move it through the 4, and it's going to come up here as the action, and that's going to flip this card. So now the other player knows what card that is. Alright, so that was the first player's turn. Now it's the second player's turn. They get to move 2 bears. Same rules, they can move to an empty space or they can move through something else. But I'm also going to talk about another rule. So what we have here is we will move the 5 right here. Flip this card as the first move. Second move is we're going to move this 2 through the 5 onto this player's 1. Alright, now what that does is that snuggles that player's card. As long as that card is covered up, that player is not allowed to move that card. So effectively, the orange player has rendered that card useless until they move off of that pile. So now it'll be back to the black player's turn, which this was not really a great move. They can take this 4, put it on there, and reveal this one. It's a 2, so they will move this one up through here. Alright, so then it is this. Oh, I should have revealed this card. So then it's this player's turn. They are going to move this card here. Then they're going to smuggle all the way up through here because they went through nothing but higher numbers, so everything's good to go there. And that was their 2 moves. Next, we want to keep moving. So this guy will move over here. And then this 3 will snag this player's 1 like that. And then this card will be revealed. Alright, so back to the orange player. Let's see if we can at least get a card to the back. So they're going to smuggle onto here and onto here. I'm going to snuggle that. Snuggle can be has to be higher or the same number. So in this case, it was acceptable. So that's 1 move. The next move they're going to do is they are going to take this 4 and they're going to snuggle that one. And I'll flip this. Alright, so then it's black player's turn. They're going to take this 6, move it onto this 3. Then they're going to move their 2. Nope, they'll move the 8 up this way. Alright, so then it is orange player's turn, so they'll move the 2. That means this 1 is now good for the black player to move. And they will take the 4 and put it onto the 1. So now the 1 is no longer able to be moved. All right, black player's turn. They're going to take this bear, and they're going to move it over here, flip it upside down, or to let them know that they've reached the back row, and this is the scoring. So this bear can no longer be covered up or moved. It's a scored bear. And then they will take the 8, and they'll take this 5, and they'll conquer this guy's 2. All right, so then it's orange's turn. Orange is at a loss here because all their cards are low. So they will take the 7 to the 2. And then they will move the 4 over there. These are probably not optimal moves, but I'm just giving you an idea how it plays. So it's black player's turn. Black player's going to move the 5 here. And they will move the 7 there. All right. So orange player, they're going to move the 5 onto this 5, and they will move the 8 up there. Then it's black player's turn. They will move the 6 to here, and they will smuggle the 1 through the 6 over to here. All right, so that opens up the back row for this one to score. So they now have a scored bear. And then they will take the 8, and they will take over that one. All right, so that's black player's turn again. And they will move this one. Then they'll take their 8, and they'll cover up this player's 8. Back to orange. So orange will do this. And then they'll move the 7. Black player's turn. They're going to score the 2. And then they will move the 8. Back to the orange player. They're going to smuggle over to the 3. Then it's black player's turn. They scored 3 bears. So that's the end. The black player would have won in this instance. I guess city bears would have won. Country bears only had 1. So that's 3-1. You can do that as one game and be done, and then that person's the winner, or you can do it over a series of games, doesn't matter. Or if you get tired of playing it this way, like I said before, you can throw in one of the advanced cards and see what happens. So yeah, that is Smuggles N Snuggles. Let's go up to the top and see what we think about it. Alright, so that was Smuggles N Snuggles. As you can see, this game is adorable. I played it with my buddy. We played a couple games of it. We each took turns being one of the bears. So I was city bears once and then country bears once. It's irrelevant other than the art, so it gave us something different to look at. What I like about this game is the simplicity, but it still gives you some stuff to think about. So yeah, you're just moving 2 cards around each time, but it's the way that you move those cards and how you're going to reveal the card that's under it that really makes a difference. So, you know, say I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 as my top 4 cards. Well, my 8 could be under my 1 on the front. So if I move my 1, then I'll have my 8, but it could be my 5. So you never really know what's under the piles. So that keeps it kind of interesting and always keeps you thinking of the best ways to move your cards to kind of block your opponent or to snuggle your opponent so they can't move that pile anymore, rendering it ineffective. So yeah, this is a pretty neat little game. I was impressed by the depth of choices that I had in such a simple little, I don't even know how many cards it is, 16 cards or something. So yeah, this is a really fun game. I recommend it. It's going to be on Kickstarter here shortly. If not, by the time you're watching this video, it might already be up. But I'll put a link to it in either the comments or on the screen so you can check it out. So yeah, that's Smuggles N Snuggles by Johnathan Ahnert. Go check it out. It's a good game. Talk to you later.